Hello, beautiful people. It is me, Dr. Faiz, once again bringing you another Medshield Movement Connect show. And we are going to be talking about technology and where wellness fits in and how we're trying to make them work, trying to make them communicate. I know some of you wear all the wearables and it tracks how far you're walking, how well you're sleeping, all of the bells and whistles. But where does it fall when it comes to actual in-world experience? This is why we have a fitness expert, if you will, in Chris Dranias.
Get ready to know what you don't know about being body brilliant. This is the Medshield Movement Connect show, where we connect the dots between fitness, health, wellness, nutrition, and of course you. Hosted by me, Dr. Faiz Mkhize, and a special guest that we have every month, sharing knowledge, insights, and groundbreaking tips on how to get fitter, be stronger, and live healthier. Turn up the volume and listen close. Today you amplify. It's the Medshield Movement Connect show. Let's go.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, well, this is the technological age, and I think a lot of people are trying to find the best wearable, or the one that's going to read my sleep, but my steps, as well as kind of be able to log the things that I'm eating. What are your concepts around wearables? Are they really the new fad that's going to optimize everyone?
I think they have their place in the fitness industry, but people get too fixated on numbers. I burnt 1,000 calories today. Okay, cool. Now I can go eat whatever I want. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. So yes, gather as much information as you can, and that can help you with your journey. But you have to have the right plan for the right journey. You know what I mean? So people get too fixated with numbers and they lose track of actually the most important things like sleep, nutrition, cardio, and training.
Yeah.
So you need to get that right. And the more info you have, that can help your plan.
Of course. And I think with your wealth of knowledge around kind of being in the wellness space, the fitness space, and you've seen it before everybody was wearing all these kind of technological advancements, and now as it is, do you think there's been a big shift with them, or is it the people who've always been kind of faithful? And
I think now with Instagram and being accountable, like we're all guilty of sharing a picture. Look what I did. Look what I'm doing. So now you're accountable. You can't hide it.
Of course.
Everyone sees what you're doing and all that, and the data's there.
Of course.
So, but in saying that, people need to also set up their devices correctly. And obviously, the more info you put in, the more accurate it will become. But they aren't 100% accurate.
Sure. And when you say set it up correctly, in what?
Height, weight, how active you are, like all that info. The more you put in, the better it's going to work for you. And also, stride,
Sure.
Your walk length. Obviously, everyone's different, so short persons going to take shorter strides.
Of course.
So to get the best out of it, you have to put the right info.
Which will give you the accurate readings.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've always and I've had this discussion back and forth with some of my friends where some of them think that with these new technologies, you won't need somebody who is an expert in wellness because it'll just tell you what you need to do.
No, you still need, everyone needs a coach or a training partner or something. That will never fall away. AI or YouTube or TikTok can't outweigh a good coach or a training partner.
Of course.
Yeah, you need the right assistance and obviously the right plan. If you want to gain weight, you need to train correctly. You can't train a certain way for a different goal, Like,
of course.
If you want to lose fat, this is how you train, or vice versa.
And I think that's also what I kind of feel because, I mean, I'm a doctor and I see people and they go, well, with AI, with the technologies, are you really going to, because then I can tell you how your blood pressure is going or what's going on with your oxygen intake in your bloods. And I think it's that wealth of experience that's still going to need to be.
The basics. People, they forget the basics. The basics will always win. Like this morning I was at gym and this guy came up to me and he's like, how do you get your calves bigger?
That's a struggle a lot of us feel.
You just need to train them the right way. You can't lift super heavy. People get fixated on lifting super heavy and doing all this, but you just have to do the basics. Target the right area with the right plan.
Very true. And I think that is the other flip side of having these technologies, is that you do want to hit targets.
Yeah.
Because if I hit my target, I get my reward, a smoothie, a coffee, and that's what's going to be read on here. And I think we're not robots, are we?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the key thing is to obviously eat well, train hard, and do your cardio. And gather as much info as you can and put together like a puzzle and just chip away and improve. Each week or month, you'll gather some new info. You'll see what works, what doesn't, and then you just formulate a better plan.
But even on those three, I know recovery is now becoming a bit more prominent.
Recovery is
discussions around it, and they've even added them to these kind of technologies. It wasn't the case, I'll be honest with you. 15 years ago, people weren't talking about recovery.
No, definitely not.
Why is it so important?
So I think people get too caught up in recovery. If you eat well and sleep well, your recovery will be fine. Protein is the key. So when I grew up training, people always said, eat as much as you want. And that's actually the wrong advice.
Yeah.
Sleep, hydration, and protein. If you can get those things on track, your recovery will be perfect.
And that
Never have an issue.
That's so interesting, because you are correct in terms of size, but protein has so many other things it does in the body, and generally people don't hit those targets.
100%.
And on a daily basis, it's the one thing where, when it comes to recovery, when it comes to the musculature.
Also what people forget is that carbs can be stored in your body, protein can't. That's why you have to eat it every 2 to 3 hours. And people don't. They have it once a day, which is the worst thing. You're actually losing muscle. So that's why you have to have it spread out over the day.
So this is the other thing, right? So some people would say, oh, just make sure you eat it in a sitting, and they'll imagine that they'll...
You've got to spread it out. You have to.
Just because it will allow you to actually...
It doesn't store in your body, so you have to keep obviously having it, you know?
And what are the recommendations in terms of the measurements, or how you would calculate
I think generally, like, a female would have anywhere from 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, and an average guy, probably 30 to 70, depending on how big.
30 to
grams
70
per meal.
Depends
on your output too.
Of course.
Are you just a regular Joe? Do you want to put on a lot of muscle? Do you want to lose a bit of fat? There's lots of variables.
So, and in those situations, right, because I've spoken to patients who've come in, they're quite fatigued, exhausted. They'll talk about things like their lifts aren't as high and they're actually decreasing in strength. For you, if you had somebody that you were consulting and you're really trying to get them maximizing their performance, but also living a balanced life, how would you, or what would you recommend around sleep and just in general around eating? Because then there's also the fasting component. So some people eat one meal and they're trying to load on.
The fasting thing is, it's just a fancy way of saying that you're just basically counting calories.
Yeah.
You're basically having one less meal, which is fewer calories, which you're in a deficit.
Yeah.
So it's no fancy way. It's just one less meal. So but people always get it wrong, like especially big guys or bigger females. They try eat less, but that's the wrong thing to do. Eat, but eat the right foods.
And when you say right foods, because this
healthy, like proteins,
whole food,
carbs, veggies. Eat the right things, not like kawaii smoothies and like a double meal, right? Like a wrap and a smoothie.
Yeah,
it's just too many calories at once.
I think that's also, and I know I've kind of also fallen into this trap where you imagine that you'll have the smoothies but you still don't feel full.
Yeah,
and that's when you start adding more things so that you can feel like.
Problem is a smoothie, if you actually watch them make it, the whole table's full of ingredients and they just blend it all in.
Then it comes out.
Exactly. You can never eat that all if you had to lay it out and eat it. So
you generally.
So rather eat your food.
That's so whole foods as opposed to, so people almost describe them as single ingredient up, so you can see what that ingredient is.
Exactly.
And it's not number E473.
Like chicken and rice will never outdate. It's a great meal for anyone that wants to gain weight, lose weight. It will fill you up. It's cheap to make. It's easy to make.
But so now that we've kind of ascertained that most people are trying to move into this technological space, but will never be obsolete in terms of people. Where do you see things moving from a technology, AI-based format when it comes to wellness and just optimizing self?
I think it's going to be pretty crazy. With obviously with like our phones, everything. Like I think the key thing is probably like hydration, blood pressure. We probably won't even have to go for blood tests anymore. Maybe like
that's
I think that's
for me.
that would be prime.
That would be like,
because no one likes a blood test.
of course. And I think for me, that's kind of where we start talking about the infrared components and all of that, really trying to optimize on it, because people don't come. Patients for me don't come and get seen because they don't want to get their bloods full.
No, it's a horrible experience, and you got to fast, and it's painful, scary.
As soon as I saw you just look down, you're like, oh, it's just...
Yeah, no one likes it. No one likes it.
In the show, we like to sometimes end off with kind of poignant things, because our show is Medshield Movement Connect Show, where we connect the dots. For you, if you had to recommend for the people at home just some technologies that they can use to optimize how they're training and working out without necessarily saying the trainer or the wellness specialist is out of the equation, what would those three things be? I
think the best thing is to keep track of what you're doing. And the more data that you can plug in and save and look back, and maybe like you don't have to weigh yourself every day, but weigh yourself every week or couple of weeks, and write a little note to say, I weighed 80 kgs today, I looked really good, I felt good. Make a little note and almost take track, put everything in place of what you're eating. And it's nice to reference back and say, okay, I looked, just say 5 out of 5, and this is what I ate. So it's good to reference back to that.
Of course.
I think if you plug in like basic stuff, how you felt, what you ate, that will never outdate.
And I think in terms of a wellness perspective, it also helps you mentally, I think, because we are in the technological age of always be shredded, always be ripped, single body percent the whole year, because everybody, and it's
Instagram
not
tells us, and all these models and influencers, and it's not real. No one can look that good all year round. And we are human. Everyone likes birthday cake and donuts and
And this is coming from somebody who specializes within this space. I know as well, you almost sometimes feel like there's pressure on it because you're like, oh, I say I live a healthy life, and they're like, but let's just see how you...
No, we're human, and we all make mistakes and do silly things and enjoy different foods and enjoy it.
You heard him. From the specialist himself. I also back this. So if you see me looking a bit flabby on some days, just know that I was listening to Chris. Cheesecake is delicious, and I love it every so often, maybe a bit more frequently than I should. Chris, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
It has been enlightening. That's why I don't have any tracking things, because I don't want to feel bad about the steps that I've taken. But remember, wellness is a journey. It is about making sure you feel good about yourself. The notes that you need to make when you feel good. Sometimes when you aren't feeling 100%, you look back at them and say, why was I so mean to myself? It's a spectrum. It's a wellness journey. So make sure you're on yours. It's another incredible episode from me, Dr. Fairs. We'll see you on the next one.
Your trusted partner for life since 1968.